Saya operation hypervisor dan hari ini saya sedang menjadi host All Hands. Dan di sini juga enggak sendiri, ditemani sama Ganesh sebagai nanti moderator di All Hands. Ganesh boleh perkenalkan diri.
Halo, Pagi Bayu.
Ya.
Saya Ganesh Bu, yang waktu itu foto di Rasita.
Udah pernah dengar namanya dikit-dikit gitu ya, tapi mukanya mungkin agak lupa.
Enggak kok, udah beberapa kali ya Kak ya.
Udah sering berarti lihat mukanya Ganesh. Oke. Sip, terima kasih Ganesh. Oke, kalau gitu Bu Ayu, saya lanjut. Ini Bu Ayu bisa lihat share screen-nya ya? Kelihatan?
Dulu. Ini apa saya nggak? Ya.
Kelihatan ada tuh selamat datang di Weekly Inspirational Speaker. Udah terlihat ya? Ada slide warna oranye biru gitu. Oke. Saya lanjut ke slide selanjutnya. Nah, jadi sebelum saya lanjut ke beberapa pertanyaan, nah saya mau memberikan dulu sedikit review listing kita nih untuk Rashita Stay. Nah, kalau saya lihat ini performa Rashita bagus ya Ibu. Ada 3 listing, ada 2 di Airbnb dan 1 di Booking.com, dan semua itu ada di atas rata-rata gitu. Terus reviewnya juga hilang tadi sinyalnya.
Terus putus suaranya. Iya, kayaknya sinyalnya.
Tapi sekarang udah, Bu Ayu?
Sudah.
Oke, sudah ya. Ini jadi saya sedikit kompilasikan. Jadi untuk kamar yang di bawah, downstairs room itu ada di rata-rata 4,78 dari 122 review. Udah lumayan banyak ya Ibu reviewnya. Dan untuk di kamar yang di atas, itu kita bahkan dapat badge guest favorite gitu. Jadi ada di atas rata-rata dibanding listing lainnya. 4,8 dari 59 review. Dan di booking.com itu kita ada di 8,6 dari 13 review. Jadi itu juga rata-ratanya masih excellent, masih bagus banget itu Ibu. Nah, terus saya lanjut ke performa kita nih untuk pencapaian kontrak dan total revenue. Nah, ini harusnya Bu Ayu sudah tahu ya kontrak kita harusnya melebihi target. Kalau di Bivigo harusnya kelihatan tuh.
Sudah. Ya, sebelumnya 800 kan.
Betul. Nah, sekarang sudah mencapai lebih ya, sekitar 811 juta dan pencapaiannya itu ada di 101%. Dan kontraknya itu juga masih lama sampai sekitar 2028 ya, Ibu ya.
Ya.
Oke. Nah, menuju dari presentasi yang sebelumnya ini, dari kompilasi target dan juga listing review, saya ada beberapa pertanyaan nih untuk Ibu Ayu. Nah, yang pertama, kalau boleh Bu Ayu bisa ceritakan nggak gimana awal mula Rashita Homestay itu dibangun? Dan ada cerita tertentukah di balik pendirian Rashita Homestay?
Awalnya saya itu sebenarnya untuk bangun properti Rashita itu jujur, saya itu cuman modal nekat aja. Nekat dalam arti itu dari finansial, dari struktur bangunan, dari konsepnya, saya juga modal nekat aja.
Oh, gitu.
Ya.
Itu berarti Ibu Ayu tiba-tiba spontan apa kayak, aduh ini kayaknya buat aja nih, lagi banyak yang buat guest house atau gimana gitu?
Enggak sih, saya di sisi lain karena anak saya 4 sih Kak, anak saya 4, saya mikir luas tanah saya kecil, saya mikir kalau saya bangun villa dapatnya dikit, saya nggak fair sama anak saya gitu. Jadi terus saya kan juga sebelumnya kerja di properti, ya istilahnya agent juga. Jadi saya tahu di Ungasan ya di Uluwatu itu terlalu banyak villa ibaratnya lah gitu.
Mhm.
Jadi saya karena modal saya kecil, saya nekat dari saya punya anak 4 ya saya mencoba untuk memberanikan diri membangun guest house walaupun cuma 5 kamar gitu.
Oh, begitu. Oke. Nah, itu berarti, kalau dari lingkungannya sendiri gimana tuh, Bu Ayu? Kan Bu Ayu bilang modal nekat. Apakah semuanya kayak mendukung, setuju gitu? Udah coba aja dulu baru yuk.
Enggak, cuman kalau istilahnya tuh kalau ya ibaratnya kalau, antara cewek dan cowok, ibaratnya saya cewek ya dibilanglah, kayak, "Kok berani?"
Mhm.
Kayak bahasa Balinya tuh wanen gitu. Cuman ya saya nggak fokus ke sana ya, saya fokus saya bangun untuk anak saya gitu.
Bener bener. Wah, iya. Berarti Bu Ayu nih, ini ya, kalau kita bilang sekarang, apa namanya, independent woman begitu.
Enggak, Kak, saya juga masih belajar, terus belajar gitu.
Ya itu berarti tapi bagus Bu Ayu tuh mindset-nya, walaupun udah overachieve tuh ya, berarti masih belajar nih, masih ada yang bisa di-improve gitu-gitu.
Iya, saya masih belajar juga gitu.
Oke, kalau gitu saya lanjut ke pertanyaan kedua ya, Bu Ayu ya. Nah, ini kalau boleh tahu gimana awalnya Bu Ayu tuh mengenal Bukit Vista dan apa pertimbangan atau tantangan yang Ibu hadapi hingga akhirnya memutuskan, oh ya udah kerjasama aja sama Bukit Vista gitu.
Awalnya jujur, pada saat proses pembangunan Bu Wayan nawarin, Bu Wayan sama lagi satu siapa ya namanya ya? Ada siapa ya namanya ya, yang rambutnya pendek itu nelpon saya, cuman, saya
Oh,
nggak masih iya, Pak? Siapa ya namanya, lupa
oh
saya, habis
enggak
gitu
lanjut.
heeh, terus saya masih kayak, enggak dulu ya, masih fokus dulu, mau bangun dulu, soalnya belum tahu nih arahnya kemana atau mau bangun kos-kosan atau
Mhm.
apa gitu. Akhirnya setelah rampung, eee, ya mungkin, saya pertimbangkan dari manajemen yang lain, saya beberapa nanya juga sama yang teman-teman yang make manajemen, apa
Mhm.
sih, plus dan negatifnya, maksudnya ibaratnya minusnya itu gimana, positifnya. Cuman ya saya memutuskan untuk ngambil Buku Vista karena dari sisi, eee, dia menjaga rating sih kalau untuk apa namanya, si Buku Vista itu menjaga ratingnya, terus membuat membuat properti kita itu ibaratnya nggak down, tapi malah up terus gitu.
Wah wah,
Jadi saya
mantap.
memutuskan untuk ngambil Buku Vista dari sana gitu, Kak.
Oh gitu Bu Ayu. Oh oke, berarti memang ada juga beberapa, teman-teman Bu Ayu yang udah, tahu lah ya gimana, manajemen dan juga Ibu Ayu, mikir mungkin apa pro dan kontranya kalau pakai Bukit Vista atau pakai yang lain begitu ya?
Iya, saya kan juga ngambil, plus minusnya di mana gitu. Ya mungkin, ini berkat Tuhan juga sih memperkenalkan aku
Betul
ke Bukit Vista dari Bu Wayan juga gitu.
betul, oke. Ya, eee, ini berarti Bu Ayu nih, lumayan
Terus
klop ya nih ya sama Bu Wayan ya, sama Wayana ya?
iya, awal-awalnya dihubungi sama Bu Wayan itu nggak di saya nggak ngerespon Bu Wayan, maksudnya, "Bu, entar ya Bu," gitu, kayak susah berapa kali dicari, nggak mau gitu. Ya mungkin mungkin menurutnya Bu Wayan, "Ih sombong banget nih Ayu nih," gitu. Padahal enggak, saya masih mempertimbangkan biar nggak saya salah ngambil langkah gitu. Karena,
Oh, iya, benar.
eee ibaratnya kalau menurut saya ya, kalau bagi saya, si
Mhm.
properti itu akan berkembang kalau, pengelolanya seperti apa,
Mmm,
sistem manajemennya itu seperti apa, gitu.
iya, betul, karena kalau enggak nanti bisa jadi propertinya nggak berkembang gitu ya. Oke, kalau gitu saya lanjut ke
Saya
pertanyaan.
deg-degan.
Kenapa Bu Ayu? Kayak resmi
Takut
banget gitu ya?
tumben.
Iya, biasanya padahal kalau kita ya, Bu Ayu mati listrik, coba cek. Sekarang nanyanya agak resmi gitu.
Iya gitu.
Oke, Ibu Ayu ini pertanyaan terakhir nih, jadi deg-degannya udah agak boleh hilang. Oke, nah dari perspektif Ibu Ayu, dukungan atau strategi apa dari Bukit Vista yang kira-kira tuh paling berkontribusi dalam menjaga rating tamu tetap tinggi atau juga mendorong pertumbuhan revenue gitu untuk properti Bu Ayu?
Ibaratnya, maaf kalau aku ya kan masih belajar juga ya Mbak, saya juga masih belajar, saya itu juga nggak baik-baik banget, nggak oke-oke banget, cuman saya masih belajar, kan gitu, terus belajar. Kalau kalau, menjaga rating tamu tetap tinggi di berbagai mendorong pertumbuhan pendapatan, jadi, ini harapan atau gimana ya?
Boleh, boleh yang sudah terjadi dan juga harapan ke depannya boleh Bu Ayu gabung.
Ibaratnya properti itu, ibaratnya kalau di manusia tangan kanan dan tangan kiri. Jadi, sebagai, utamanya di tangan kanan itu di manajemennya, tangan kiri si owner-nya. Properti tidak akan berkembang kalau si tangan kanan dan tangan kiri itu tidak kompak, jadi gitu. Jadi saya selalu menerapkan tamu-tamu saya itu, saya selalu menerapkan karyawan saya menerapkan diri saya sendiri untuk melakukan, menerapkan pada khususnya tamu itu sebagai keluarga kita, sebagai family kita, gitu. Jadi yang maksudnya Bukit Vista ini strateginya itu bagusnya itu dalam pengelolaan seperti kayak tamu beberapa kali sih tamu saya, komplain masalah listrik, masalah PDAM itu kan emang wajar kalau untuk di bukit. Cuman
Bali.
Bukit Vista itu bagus banget, dia tetap menjaga agar tamu tidak, marah atau enggak dengan memberikan saran gitu. Tapi saya juga terus belajar sih dari Bukit Vista juga gitu. Cuman harapan saya, maaf nih harapan saya agar
Ya.
mendorong pertumbuhan pendapatannya,
Mm-mm.
khususnya nih di Uluwatu ya Mbak, di Uluwatu itu banyak banget properti dan kita pun
Ya,
tahu sekarang kita lagi perang harga, kan gitu
betul.
ya. Perang harga untuk dari lokal, dari sesama bule juga, kan gitu.
Ya.
Jadi kita, strateginya yang saya harapkan itu kalau bisa dalam satu gang itu cukup manajemen villa, maksudnya Bukit Vista itu manajemenin tuh satu properti aja. Contoh kalau ada guest house aja, atau villa-villa aja, jangan lagi ada yang lain. Kenapa gitu? Karena kalau menurut saya sih,
Mm-mm.
kalau kita banyak punya punya yang kita manajemenin villa, otomatis, si tamu itu akan mencari tempat yang baru.
Gitu.
Jadi,
Ya.
yang saya harapin itu dari Bukit Vista, biar yang sudah ada semakin up dan terus up, jangan yang baru up, yang udah lama down, gitu sih harapan saya, gitu.
Oh,
Karena
iya, iya.
kontrak kita kan banyak, enggak 1 atau 2 tahun, 3 tahun pasti, itu kan waktu yang panjang.
Iya.
Dan saya sih berharap bukan 1, 2 tahun aja untuk bareng ya kerja sama Bukit Vista, keluarga sama Bukit Vista, bukan untuk 1 atau 2 tahun, 3 tahun aja. Tapi saya berharap sih untuk, mungkin 6 tahun, 7 tahun, atau sampai ya saya nggak tahu, umur saya juga nggak tahu panjang atau enggak, biar anak-anak saya yang lanjutin juga tetap sama Bukit Vista, gitu.
Gitu. Oke, makasih Bu Ayu feedbacknya. Itu nanti kita tampung ya. Jadi maksudnya pokoknya yang penting kalau misal nih, berarti kalau yang saya tangkap ya, itu adalah kalaupun misal nanti Bukit Vista ada properti baru gitu, yang lama tuh jangan diabaikan gitu. Jadi semuanya sama-sama up gitu. Bener nggak Bu Ayu?
Iya, karena beberapa manajemen yang saya cari juga, yang saya review itu, dia selalu meng-up-kan properti yang baru.
Oh,
Bukan
gitu.
properti yang sudah ada semakin maju. Tuh, jadi saya berharap sih Bukit Vista boleh nambah, maksudnya manajemen lagi, properti yang baru boleh. Tapi saran saya sih kalau bisa dalam satu gang nih, maksudnya kayak gang rumah saya ini kan kecil nih,
Mm-mm.
cuman 250 meter. Jangan lagi ada lagi gitu. Jadi ruang lingkupnya biar ini aja semakin bertumbuh gitu.
Gitu. Oke, boleh. Nanti itu kita tampung ya, nanti Bu Ayu.
Ya,
Makasih. Itu kan untuk kedepannya ya. Tapi untungnya sekarang juga memang performanya masih bagus ya dari
bagus.
Rasita, Bu Ayu.
Ya, puji
Jadi,
Tuhan.
dari Bu Ayu juga happy, dari Bukit Vista juga happy.
Ya, sekarang jadi venue-nya malah naik lagi nih. 800 hampir 820 kayak.
Iya, betul Ibu. Iya, itu karena biasanya ya kalau udah achieve tuh atau udah nyampe gitu targetnya, nah itu biasanya nanti dari tim revenue dan tim business development itu mereka nanti akan coba review lagi begitu. Kayak apakah kontraknya bisa lebih naik atau nanti biasanya nanti dari mereka sendiri yang approach ke Bu Ayu gitu biasanya.
Amin. Amin.
Amin gitu ya.
Karena sama-sama belajar juga sih, Kak. Saya juga
Betul.
belum bagus juga secara total 100%. Cuma saya juga belajar gitu.
Iya, dari Bukit Vista juga tetap selalu belajar sih Bu Ayu, karena kan juga trennya kan selalu berubah ya. Bisa jadi yang hari ini begini, tiba-tiba besok trennya udah berbeda gitu. Jadi memang kita sama-sama belajar.
Ya, tapi saya
Iya.
akuin Mbak, jujur dari manajemen yang lain, properti yang lain gitu, jujur Bukit Vista sih yang masih stabil di setiap bulannya. Selalu ada pendapatan, dan pendapatannya itu pun nggak main-main, maksudnya ya tinggi. Soalnya jujur saya juga nge-manajemenin bukan Rasita aja yang saya kelola, cuman ada 3 villa juga yang saya kelola juga. Dari perbandingan properti yang lain stabilnya di Bukit Vista.
Wah, bagus. Makasih Bu Ayu, testimoni tuh ya.
Iya benar, dari saya kan megang 3 villa nih. Juga orang Jakarta punya, saya juga ngelola dari dia pakai manajemen Bukit Vista, tapi karena dia nggak di sini ya saya ngelola. Itu juga perbandingan sama yang di depan, di belakang itu di villa yang saya gini tuh dia aja yang stabil. Masihlah ada pendapatan yang kayak kemarin tuh kan November, Desember, Januari itu kan benar-benar down banget nih.
Iya.
Tapi di sana malah tinggi malahan. Serius. Serius tinggi banget. Saya juga kaget. Tinggi banget ya gitu. Ya puji Tuhan sih.
Iya, benar. Oke, terima kasih Bu Ayu testimoni dan juga ini ya
kalau
masukannya.
Maaf kalau ada salah kata apapun.
Nggak ada Bu Ayu, nggak ada salah kata. Oke, itu pertanyaan terakhir dari saya Bu Ayu. Nah, sekarang saya coba berikan ke tim yang lain ya. Ada nggak pertanyaan nih? Coba kita lihat apakah ada yang angkat tangan. Coba ke tim-tim Bukit Vista yang lain. Atau mungkin dari Mo Wayana, mungkin Mo Wayana lagi di sini nih. Mo Wayana ada mau ngomong nggak nih sama Bu Ayu? Mungkin.
Kalau aku sih ke Ayu, terima kasih juga udah selalu mendukung. Jadi apapun masukannya gercep dia. Jadi aku kadang kayak inspect gitu, ada tamu ngomong kayak, oh ini ada airnya ada bunyi, dan bilang langsung panggil on the spot gitu. Jadi dalam hitungan menit aku masih ngomong belum selesai udah tuh cari solusi gitu. Jadi behavior ini akan selalu bagus sih, karena tamu itu kan dia stay-nya jangka waktu pendek ya. Jadi solusi yang cepat itu akan bikin mereka nyaman gitu sih. Jadi dari sebagai manajemen, jadi owner-owner seperti ini akan membuat kita sukses jangka panjang bersama, karena di sini memang seperti Ayu bilang, ya tangan kanan tangan kiri, jadi kita nggak berfungsi dengan maksimal ketika salah satu dari tangan antara kita nggak sama-sama gercep lah ya. Nah seperti itu.
Benar-benar. Oke, makasih Moyana ini ya inputnya. Oh ini ada Bella nih, angkat tangan. Tim revenue. Boleh.
Oke, terima kasih Kak Gray. Selamat pagi Bu Ayu, halo. Saya Bella,
Halo.
tim revenue management. Ibu singkat aja buat menjadi masukan buat property partner yang lain ya, dengan pengalaman Ibu sejauh ini dari nol banget, nggak tahu apa-apa dan modal nekat. Apa yang bisa Ibu share satu hal aja sama property owner lainnya nih supaya bisa jadi inspirasi?
Depan.
Udah, jangan deg-degan Bu Ayu. Jadi deg-degan nih semuanya.
Wah, memperlakukan tamu dan memperlakukan ya saya ya gimana ya, intinya itu memperlakukan tamu seperti keluarga kita sendiri, karena Bali itu lagi nggak baik-baik saja karena isu-isu dari media sosial, dari warga sendiri juga nggak memperlakukan tamu itu sebagai keluarga, karena intinya pariwisata di Bali itu adalah jantungnya sih tamu-tamu tersebut, tapi kita sebagai yang di dalamnya itu harus juga mendukung seperti perilaku gitu sih, kalau saya sih gitu.
Oke. Terima kasih Ibu. Jadi salah satunya untuk menjadikan tamu bahkan menjadi keluarga ya, salah satu
Ya,
untuk
karena beberapa tamu saya yang datang lagi itu yang sebelumnya sudah tinggal di sini, dia tinggal lagi.
Terus ya jadinya
terasa kehangatan dari Balinya ya Bu ya. Jadi
ya, jadi kita harus mencerminkan Bali itu senyum terus jadi seperti keluarga gitu. Karena kalau kita memperlakukan tamu itu sebagai keluarga, otomatis dia kan jadinya mencap si Bali itu sendiri nggak bagus gitu.
Oke, terima kasih Bu Ayu untuk jawabannya.
Saling sama-sama belajar. Terima kasih juga buat Bu Fistan. Selalu diberkati.
Makasih Bu Ayu. Oke, ini memang sudah sesi terakhir. Tadi pertanyaan dari Bella juga terakhir, Bu Ayu.
Baik, terima kasih.
Terima kasih Bu Ayu. Kalau misal Bu Ayu mau leave dan ada kerjaan lain silahkan. Tapi kalau mau stay lihat-lihat bentar juga silahkan ya Bu Ayu.
Sambil saya lihat.
Oke. Kalau begitu makasih Bu Ayu. Saya akan lanjut ke sesi berikutnya ya. Terima kasih Bu Ayu sudah menyempatkan waktu. Kalau begitu saya akan berikan sesi selanjutnya kepada Ganesh untuk vision dan mission.
Oke, makasih Bu Ayu udah mau datang dan share. Kak Gray bisa share screen? Okay, for the next session, the vision mission statement. For the vision statement, I'll hand it over to Mr. Jing.
All right, thank you. Terima kasih Ibu Ayu. Ibu Ayu masih di sini? Masih. Okay, tapi udah camera off. I just want to say how inspirational that was, and I want to thank the All Hands Committee for putting together, something that really inspires delight. Normally, we always invite people who are, let's say, I guess employees or people who we aspire to be as employees. But it's really refreshing to actually invite one of our partners here to see like their perspective and their journey as well. So that was really very touching. I'm back in Bali. Okay, so as you can see, I'm back over here. And it's delightful to have spent some time traveling around the world. I'll do this. Okay, so I'll open up for Q&A. I'll tell you where I've been, and I'll let anybody who has any questions about, let's say, the past few weeks or months to ask a question. So in the past 3 months, I've been to Istanbul, I've been to Cairo, I've been to Japan, I've been to, of course, California, and I spent a lot of time in Airbnbs. I'm sure, Gray, if you've seen my trips and such, I've been going from place to place also as a guest. And one of the reasons I love using Airbnb as opposed to hotels is because I find that a hotel, you get exactly what you expect to find, which I often find is a unadventurous way to travel because you see exactly what you expect to see, right? But on Airbnbs, you often see something about the actual culture and the nature of the people that you are inhabiting space with. So, okay, I'll stop for Q&A. If there's any questions, I'll answer any questions that anybody has. If not, then I'll just talk about some interesting experiences I've had. One.
Me, Mr. Jing.
Yes. Okay, Hafiz, please go. Yeah.
Okay. From all the countries that you visited, what was the unique experience of each country
Sure.
in hospitality dimension? What's the
Excellent.
feeling? What's the difference?
Excellent. I'll put together two of the most highly contrast cultures I could think of. Okay. So the highest contrast I could determine was Egyptian versus Japanese culture for hospitality, right? It's completely different. It's like 180. Okay. So in Egypt, everything is a negotiation. Everything is a negotiation. Everything is one-on-one, a bargain. Your arrival time is a bargain. Your expectation of what should be in the actual room is a bargain. Everything is negotiated one-on-one, face-to-face, and it can be exhausting sometimes because you have to bargain on your transportation. Like the transportation already says it's this price, but the driver will bargain, like, give me a little bit more or else I won't come, right? So you end up kind of like bargaining the whole day. You bargain for the price of your dinner, you bargain for this, and everything is, I think it's the spirit of the Egyptian culture. I think they enjoy that process. And so what you see is it's friendly, I think. I think Egyptians come across as, for me, very warm, very kind, and extremely human, right? So that's kind of like one way of getting things done. Japan was like the opposite. Japan was everything is a policy. Everything is a policy, okay? So what time you check in is a policy. Like checkout is at 11, and at 11 there's somebody at the door, like waiting to clean the apartment. Like exactly at 11, there is a cleaner showing up exactly at 11 to clean. Everything is written down as instructions and as, this is where you put your trash. This is how you turn on this. There's a manual for everything. So the feeling you get in Japan is that, at least at the Airbnb level, is that it runs like a machine, right? Everything runs like a machine. There's a policy for this, policy for that. You will never meet your host. Your host is a voice on the chat, and but it also works. That's the other thing. Like the one thing I noticed about hospitality that's quality on both sides is it goes back to something Chip Conley told me, who was one of my mentors at Airbnb. And he said that hospitality is when something happens for you. So in the Egyptian case, you could see that there's people trying to do things for you, right? Sometimes trying to do things for themselves too as well. But And they're doing it manually. They're doing it like, face to face. And in Japan, they're doing things for you, but it's all sort of been pre-planted. People set gifts for you. They kind of arrange these things for you. So you do feel that you're guided, but you have to read the instructions in order to understand. So that part was a difference in experience. And America was the worst. America was like, I don't know how to put it, but it was like everywhere you go, it feels like people just cannot be bothered. They can't be bothered to help you. They can't be bothered to attend to your needs. And the only sort of way you can get hospitality in America is if you pay a lot of money, and then people will kind of like try to serve you, right? But that was one of the differences. Okay. Having said that, and having understood that, I want to actually praise our environment. I think Indonesia is one of the highest natural cultures for hospitality. Like seriously, like across. Now there's many things that could be improved in Indonesia, but hospitality, I think, is something that is universally understood and also universally practiced and universally inspirational. I think that can be a very strong Indonesian export to the rest of the world. Okay. It just happens very naturally. It happens without any expectation of transaction. Like Ibu Ayu said, people are treated as family. So I think when we look at our great nation here and we think about what strengths are kind of built in, I'd say, yeah, probably hospitality is one of the greatest strengths of Indonesia, and something that probably the rest of the world can learn from. So that's something that I found to be pretty inspirational. And it's a pretty big world out there, but this is a unique place for this type of understanding. Okay, that's it. Next week I'll talk about something. Whoa, is it already 10:45? We go way over time. Okay, all right, I better stop. Normally I think Ramos stops me, but all right, I'll hand it back over to Ganesh, yeah?
Okay, thank you, sir, for sharing your perspective on hospitality from the countries that you have visited. Okay, for the next session, hospitality and revenue target, I'll hand it over to Mas Hafiz.
Okay, thank you, Ganesh, and good morning, everyone. So this is one of our new on-board property called Tan Uma. Yay, give a clap. Yay. So this property already have some bookings, and wait, let me check. And already full book until 16th of February. So congratulations for the NOM team, and let's have a good journey with this property and inspire delight guests as well. Okay, thank you. And next. So this is the semester 8 target. For the revenue target is $3,120,000 US. Hospitality target 87% 5-star rating. Brand target of partner stability at $170,000 US. Next. For the hospitality target achievement, the first metric, accuracy, this week increased by 0.2% after last week we got a decrease. Next. So this is the property contributor. We received 206 5-star reviews this week. Next. For the check-in increased by 0.3%. Next. And these are the properties contributor for this week. There are around 212 reviews. And for the cleanliness increase as well by 0.2%. Next. And these are the property contributor for the 5-star reviews for the cleanliness. Next. And this is the MSM for this month for the cleanliness coming from Rama and Fasha. Next. The communication increased as well by 0.2%. This metric has been increased for 2 or 3 weeks consecutively. So congratulations for the Kaya team as well. Next. And these are the property contributor for the 5-star reviews this week. Next. And this is the MSM that currently ongoing, started just by Mas Bayu and delegate to Reza. Next. The location increased as well after got a decrease last week by 0.2% this week. Next. And these are the property contributor for the location metrics, 5-star reviews. Next. The last metrics, value got a stagnant progress for the last 2 weeks. So this week we still on 87.6. Next. And these are the non-5-star reviews contributor. There are 29 non-5-star reviews we received this week for value. Next. And there are MSM as well for that related to value, I believe, by Lutfi. Next. And this is the progress for the overall quality. For the overall quality, last week we got a decrease and not achieving the target. And this week we overachieve it again by 0.1%. Now we are at 87.1%. Next. So how about this week progress? This week by Airbnb start counted from February 2nd. Next. And this is the breakdown from February 2nd until February 8th that review we received. Next. So these are the properties that contributing 5-star reviews on the overall review. There are 199 reviews, 5-star rating, and coming from around 87 properties this week. Next. And these are the MSMs for that I believe contributing to the hospitality metrics this month. And next. For the next session, I'll pass it to Furqan for partner stability target and achievement.
Thank you very much, Mas Hafiz. Good morning, everyone. So let's proceed into the next slide. Great. And for the brand achievement update, there is no further offboarding decision that is counted as churn. However, several partners already flag like very high risk situation and needs direct involvement and also solution to make sure that we can save these partners from being counted as churn. And moving forward into the revenue target achievements. So we are currently at 2,175,000 USD. It's counting around, we still have 50 days, around 1 month and also 20 days to achieve the revenue target. And yeah, this is our progression so far. We still have around 944,000 USD left, which means around 30% to achieve the revenue target for this semester. So that's the update regarding the brand target and also the revenue target. Thank you very much. Ganesh, back to you.
Okay, thank you, Mas Hafiz and Kak Furqan. Great to see our hospitality target improving. The other target is still below expectations, so let's stay aligned and push together to close the gap. Okay. The next session, company team target and achievement. I'll hand it over to Kak Furqan.
Okay, thank you very much, Ganesh. And however, on a better side, for the February 2026 target, we're still seeing quite many greens or on track targets on display. The first one is the revenue target. We are currently at 79.99% from the target. And if we take a look at the MSM, there is one MSM impacting coming from Lutfi to proceed and also succeed with this revenue target. And the second one for the 5-star percentage, we are currently overachieve at 102%. Most of the MSM are still on progress, which contributions coming from Furkon, Gaya, Bayu, Gray, Fasha, and also Reza accordingly. Next up into the brand target. Still no update. However, this is of course put on risk because like we do not have any budget for the churn for the rest of the semester. However, several MSMs have already been placed here. The first one coming from Furkon, Rama, and then David, Gray, Fasha, Ardi, and also contribution from Mr. Jing, Brian, Ardi, Titan, and Lutfi as well. So that's for the brand target. And starting revenue target for March, we still off track at the progression out at 49%. There is several ongoing MSMs coming from Kaila and also Lutfi accordingly to hit and also achieve the target accordingly. And what are our opportunities so far in February? So we have 54% occupancy, 7% expired dates, 1% maintenance, and also 0% owner reserve so far. It means we have around 38% nights available to sell to achieve our February target. So that is the report. Thank you very much, Ganesh, and back to you.
Okay, thank you, Kak Furkon. Let's maintain the quality and close the March revenue target quickly. Okay, for the next session, weekly mission inspiration. There's one from Lutfi on the innovation that positively transfer our partner. Please let us know how it impact our revenue or overall target. Okay, I hand it over to Lutfi.
Okay, so booking windows. This is a result of a research about booking windows. Booking windows are how we group dates by time before check-in. We set prices differently for last-minute nights versus nights that are still far ahead into the future. The current way we do it is we group the nights based on static definitions by property type that we use. So for example, villas, we set 1 to 3 nights into the future as last minute, while for guest house, it's 1 day in the same day as last minute. That is the current way we use booking windows to do our pricing currently. Well, that method is not too personalized and it can be too broad, too generalized. Instead of that, we ran an experiment. We are shaping those booking window definition. We changed the definition of last minute, short booking window, medium, long, and very advanced based on each property's own booking behavior. This makes pricing much more personalized to the property's performance and guest behavior of that property. Based on our experiment, dynamic booking windows leads to higher conversion compared to static booking windows, which in turn pulls booking earlier into the calendar. Earlier bookings reduce uncertainty, smoothen revenue, and compound performance over time. When pricing learns the rhythm of each property, revenue follows. By getting earlier bookings at higher ADR, we can contribute more to the revenue target and contributing more to the revenue target.
Okay.
That is all for me.
Okay, thank you, Lutfi, for the innovation. We will extend for around 10 minutes max for the all hand session. Okay, next innovation from the technological innovation came from Ega. Okay.
Okay, let me share my screen ya. Okay, good morning everyone. Today I'd like to share an update regarding the Bivigo application ya. Over the past few weeks, I've shared that subscriber type user can now create and sign contract directly through the Bivigo app. However, yesterday we identified a case where partner type user who already have a property were not yet able to add additional property directly from Bivigo. Because of this, we've enhanced the feature so that existing partner can now add new properties directly through the app ya, allowing the PAM process to move faster and more efficiently. Okay, let's go straight to the demo. Okay, from the homepage, we navigate to the My Property page ya. Here you will now see on Add button in the top right corner. Okay, click this button ya. Okay, a form will appear where you can fill in the new property details. The address. Property type. Okay. Okay, once all information is complete ya, simply click submit. Okay, after submission, the property will appear in the property list, a new property with review status. From there, the partner can immediately process to create and sign the contract directly through Bivigo, just like the flow I demonstrated in previous session ya. This enhancement help accelerate the PAM process and enable faster conversion of new properties into active asset. That's the update for today. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Ega, for the innovation. Okay, next, let's move to promotion and new employee. I'll hand it over to Kak Bayu.
Okay, thank you, Ganesh. This is a promotion of LPT for okay, let's go first to Wendy. So Wendy is moved from execution to sub-supervision. What does that mean? He is now supervising his own metrics. For example, success rate on bigger, maximum error, and things like that. What does this mean? This means that Wendy now is ensuring the two things. So there's stability and also innovation. The first one is stability in our existing tools, internal tools, like Bigger, Bet24, Make, and basically a lot of things that a lot of us here don't see that it needs maintenance. And then also innovation. So occasionally we need to also add a new feature for the existing tools that we have. This is will be a specific success metric for innovation as well. So Wendy is now the owner of this service, and he get to make decision and involve directly with the user when designing and planning. And Wendy's opinion is now matters because he's responsible for this metric.
Excellent.
And next, congratulations, Wendy. Next is to Ega. Ega also same, have moved up from execution to sub-supervision. as a Bifigo product lead trainee. What does this mean? Same expectation as Wendy. Ega will have his own metric. He will supervise his own work with the primary goal is to improve Bukit Vista growth and reduce partner churn through Bifigo. So now he have control, he have opinion, he will have his decision on how to make Bifigo works better for employees and also partners. Okay, congratulations again.
Okay, thank you Kak Bayu and congratulations to Wendy and Ega. Next, we move to core value recognition. Okay, for the first value recognition, there's from Kak Furqan.
Okay, thank you very much, Ganesh. So I would like to recognize Kak David for being transparent here. Kak David made a small yet very, very huge mistake by sending like by sending a transfer to partner like over by 1 digit. That costs like from by 1 digit. Yes, you can already imagine like how catastrophic it is. But what I would like to appreciate from Kak David is Kak David accordingly and also confess about that mistakes and also accordingly to resolve it. Hence, the partner has already sending back the leftover money to us, and thank you very much for the coordination. Kak David, do not forget to give partner a gift for this kind of situation. So yeah, that's to Kak David. Thank you once again.
Okay, thank you Kak Furqan, and thank you Kak David for being transparent. Next, there's from Ricky.
I'm going to double down on that. Listen up, everybody. So about a year, 2 years ago, we had a really, we didn't have good culture about this, which was whenever somebody made a fatal mistake, they would hide it. And then we wouldn't reach our targets. And then we'd have to do an audit. And then we'd find out that somebody was keeping some sort of mistake not really shared, right? So that leads to a loss of trust. I'm going to double down on that because I learned that lesson the hard way. I got fired from Airbnb for doing the same thing, right? So it was my dream job and I lost it because I tried to hide a mistake, okay? That's a mistake. That's not what you should do in any organization that's built on high trust, okay? If you've made a mistake and you know it's a mistake, okay? Then report it to your supervisor. They bear a lot of the responsibility also of putting you in that position, and just be transparent, okay? Every mistake that we discover quickly can be fixed quickly, okay? But mistakes that are left there for months cost lots of money, especially since we are promoting people. Everyone's also getting base increases, so waste of time. So please, if you made a mistake, you know it, just say, this is a mistake. I apologize for it, accept whatever needs to be done, but don't hide it, okay? Because that results in greater loss of trust throughout the entire organization. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, it was a very expensive lesson for me too. So don't make the same mistake, okay? All right, I'm going to recognize a few people. Well, I didn't know I put up so many. So let's start with Rahman Furqan. The inspirational speaker agenda that you saw today was an innovation. Normally we don't, like I said, really get partners, but I think that partner coming in was a real bright light. And the questions asked were very specific, and the insights we all gained from listening to a partner who's really involved were so valuable. It was real, it was authentic, and it was a good direction to think about actually how to include partners. I noticed that there were small little details, like adding the contract value term and also the value and announcing it. It takes courage because it's new. It's not what we did before. So the partner also understands that they want to be partners with us for a very long time. That was inspirational. So I think this is a very good way to actually strengthen the culture that develops between our company and our partners, which should be linked closer together. So good job on that. That's an innovation that inspires the light. Okay, next, I'm going to recognize next Lutvi. Lutvi is moving from insight to insight really quickly, guys. So we have been asking for a science culture here. If you guys don't understand why science culture is important, it's usually because we reach a block and we can't go any further, okay? We have all this information, but we can't interpret what it means. And so we get stuck. We get not achieving our semester goals, not achieving like whatever we want to achieve. So every now and then we need somebody to come up with ideas to break through. So Lupi's been going on strength to strength, and I think I really appreciate this process. And I encourage everybody to use data and investigate and try to find out what are the patterns that we're not seeing, okay? It's all possible now with strong AI. It's just the willingness to be curious and ask the questions and make the discoveries, okay? So this is good scientific leadership in this direction, okay? Next. Also, thank you, Bella, for regularly hosting the science discussions too as well. I'm sure that is how we improve overall science culture. Next is to teach in NVIDIA. There was a blocking point on getting some user models created. And I like how both Teach and NVIDIA work together, along with Artie too, I think. I saw Artie got some benefit from that as well to resolve that. We do need to move quickly to resolve certain things and not overthink. It worked. So let's keep that going on because that's how we can save time and save money. Okay. Next is to Wendy. Wendy also acted pretty quickly when I came to him to ask for a data set on the BVGO, the bigger extension market. So he was able to make a few implementation fixes and we're able to get the data we needed. So that was a friction resolved in a very short amount of time. So I think that's great. Okay, I call that basically going from not understanding user interface and user needs to understanding user needs quickly. So that part is desirable. Okay, those are my recognitions for this week.
Okay, thank you, sir, for the appreciation to the team. Let's keep setting the standard and lead by example. Okay, since
Yes.
there is no announcement, you guys can fill the personal update before EOD, and I'll hand this next session to Kak Gray.
Yes, thank you, Ganesh. We overexceed around 6 minutes, but still under the needed extension earlier of 10 minutes. Thank you, everyone, for attending today's session. And don't forget to try to reach our goals, even though it's still on track. It can fluctuate a lot. So don't forget to do your MSM. Think of new innovation, new strategies, so we can achieve the needed target. I think it's been needed less around like quite amount of short time again for our semester target to end. So good luck, everyone, and have a great day at work today. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
All right.
Thank you,
See you guys.
everyone.